Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. I'm very pleased to have Sheldon Seltzer, a guy who played for NYU in the 50s for famed coach Howard Cann, and he's going to talk a little bit about what it was like to play back then and the certain skills that they have. I thought you could quickly tell us a little bit about the differences in the game today and back then and what you see when you watch a lot of basketball.
Well, today you do not see any two-handed set shots. There isn't a player in professional basketball or college with a two-handed set shot. There was also the one-handed, I forget what we would call it, the one-handed
Push shot.
Push shot, that's
okay.
it. The one-handed push shot, we called it then. And then there was the hook shot. The hook shot was, I was left-handed, and I used to watch Ray Lump. When I was in high school, he played for NYU, and he was very famous with his left-handed hook shot. And those are the three shots that you do not see in basketball today. And another thing that you do not see in basketball that they had when I played, if you threw a ball cross court, the coach immediately took you out of the game. You never threw a basketball cross court. And of course, walking, they always called walking much closer. If you watch a professional or college game, they could call walking 20, 30 times a game. That's what makes it spectacular, is they no longer call walking, so the players could dunk the ball and do these spectacular shots, but they don't play with the same rules that we played with.
Well, what do you say? Let's get on the court, and why don't you break down some of the moves and the fundamentals of shooting these shots?
I played against Sonny Hertzberg. Sonny Hertzberg at that time was on the New York Knicks. And I watched him shoot a set shot, and a few times he showed me how he did it. It was mostly in his wrist. The whole trick was the wrist. And if I remember, I'm left-handed, and I also would be in my wrist, and my left foot would come out. So the shot would go like this.
Now remember, you notice there's no jumping involved here. It's a two-handed set shot, which means no jumping at all.
Well, very little bit. Watch my feet.
Okay, nice. A little bit.
A little bit, yes.
Now, how about arc? Did they teach you to really moonball it, or was it just more toward the rim?
The shot had you did not use the backboard in the shot.
Okay.
It was a straight-in shot. And we had to spin the ball, and that was it. Just many, many hours of practice.
So two hands equally?
Two hands equally. My thumbs would be like this, facing each other, and it was all in the wrist. I used to shoot it from half court easily. I mean, not make the shot all the time, but at least got the rim.
Now, look at that. Now let's talk a little bit about the follow-through. Did you have to hold the follow-through, or were you allowed to just sort of flick it and let your arms come down?
No, I would flick it. Very good point. I would flick it and hold the follow-through. Watch my hands go.
Okay. Now watch. What we also is important is the thumb position on the release. So let's just keep it on him when he shoots it. Let's just see the thumbs, because actually without the ball, just show us if you mime it what the thumbs look like. Yeah, see that? So what you end up doing, as sports fans, is your thumbs both are pointing toward the rim equally. That's the spin you're going to get, right?
That's the spin you get. And you see where the way the ball is? You always shot it where it would spin this way.
With the seams.
You would never, with what do you call this?
The seams.
The seams, thank you. You never went against the seams.
Okay.
Always, and you had the feel of the ball, so you really didn't have to look.
Did they have seams back then?
I think they did.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I always knew the feel of the ball. I didn't have to look.
Well, that's terrific stuff. Can we talk a little bit about the running hook through the lane?
The running hook. When the hook shot, everyone knew I was left-handed, and I would only be able to go to my left side.
Okay.
And my left side. So you would drive and you would protect the ball with your shoulder. As you dribble down, you would protect the ball with the shoulder, and with the right hand.
Oh, off the glass, right?
Off the glass.
Now back then, the backboards were probably harder, like they were softer. You could really hit it hard, right? or not?
I can't remember.
My impression of watching some of those things is people would just nail that back when it's thud and right in.
Yeah. It could be. I'm gonna try. Haven't tried a hook shot in maybe 60 years.
Look at that. Now you can't block that shot, right?
Well, you protected it with your shoulder. As you drove down, you protected it with your shoulder, and as you spun, you gave the little push to your defensive man.
Off one
so
foot?
If you, off the right foot.
Okay.
You would give a little, with the right elbow, you would try and push them away.
Huh. Can I try one? Let me try one. Tell me, I'm kind of curious. I think I used to shoot this when I was in 6th grade, and I haven't done it since. So you come in here, and it's a little lefty like that.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Perfect. Look good. Look very good. Yeah.
And I'm not even lefty. So that's great stuff. Did you ever jump off both feet when you were going to the basket? Was it, or was the fundamentals back then? It was always either the right or the left.
Oh, the right or the left, never both feet.
Okay. So show us the push shot. Now that would be off the dribble, right? You
Off the dribble, correct.
So show us that a little bit, the push shot. Look at that, and that looks a lot like a player that's still playing a little bit these days.
You don't see that too much.
There's one guy that still does it, Steve Nash, right? You'll see him come up and he'll go,
That's right.
and shoot it
Not
in one
many,
hand.
right,
So
right.
show us again how I did that. So you go to your left because you're lefty, right? And you jump off the right foot, and just a little push shot. Yeah, it's a floater.
Marv Alpert lived in the same building that I lived in, his family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, but you were probably Glickman, right? That was your guy?
Marty Glickman, yes.
Yes.
The only, as a sophomore, I only played about 8 minutes I played as a sophomore. And the first time I came into the game, all my friends were listening on the radio. There was no television. And Marty Glickman gave me the nickname of Slick Seltzer.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's very amazing. Well, if you haven't had a chance to watch the Marty Glickman documentary, I really recommend it. It's a tremendous story. And I can't thank you enough for coming out here to show us this stuff. And don't forget, sports fans, there's a lot of history that we can learn from. Those shots are still very viable. In fact, I almost had one of my high school players shoot a two-handed set shot from 40 feet, just because who would guard you out there? So if we do that, we'll have to get you out there to teach them those fundamentals.
Okay, good.
And don't forget, sports fans, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You win,